I think it's time to get started. Oh, by the way, for all the students here, I'm Mr. Schotterback. If you don't know me, I run the College and Career Center here at Vista High School. This is all career week, so we have Garrett Marks with us to talk about film production, I guess is the broad thing, but he's going to tell about what his real role is. And then, of course, the bonus extra feature is he sat where you sat, right? So he knows all about what it's like going to Vista High. So he's one of our Vista High students who's gone on to, of course, great things, like many of them do. So, Mr. Marks, I'm going to ask you to take it away now. Introduce yourself and tell us all about what you do.
All right. Well, thank you guys for having me. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be a part of this. And yeah, like Stephen had said, my name is Garrett Marks, and I graduated in 2003 from Vista High. So I'm old, getting older. I'm 36 now. But yeah, so what I do for a living is I actually own my own production company that we do commercials for clients like Apple Music, Toyota, Hyundai, Intel, HP, Qualcomm, Wilson Sporting Goods, Red Bull, Kawasaki, and many more. So I actually run the production company. We produce the commercials and productions that happen. Then I'm also a director as well and a cinematographer. So a lot of the times on these shoots, I'm the one actually directing and overseeing the creative for these projects. So that's what I do. I'm going to show you guys really quick. If you guys haven't seen it, I'm going to share my website. All right, can you guys see that? So I'm going to take 5 minutes and just share with you guys. This is actually a film I made because everybody should hear the audio, I believe. So
yeah, make sure you share your sound up in the options there.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, view, it says like share computer sound and they'll be able to hear everything.
Okay, so you're sharing more.
It'll be under view options.
View options. Record. Sorry, I don't see that, Stephen.
Yeah, if you're at the top of your share, it'll say like you're sharing your screen, and then there'll be a little drop down thing that says share computer sound.
Oh, weird. Okay. Let me stop this. Hold on. Resume. Resume share. Hi video. For whatever reason, I'm not seeing view audio. Should I just kind of play it without it?
Yeah,
Garrett,
we can play without it and see. Yeah,
Garrett,
go ahead.
I've got a suggestion. I don't know what maybe this is not going to work, but if you stop the share and then click share, and then on the bottom left-hand corner, it will say share computer audio. Does that pop up for you?
Oh, I see. So advanced sharing options. Here we go.
There we go.
Multi-participants. No, that's not actually giving it to me. One person. Music or computer sound only. Slides as virtual background. Content for second camera. So it wouldn't be that. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. You know, if you've got the URL, you can just drop the URL into the chat, and I'll share it and play it on mine.
Okay.
I think I know this one. You want the Behind Greatness one then, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that one since we shot at Vista High. So
yeah, drop me the URL and I'll share it from here, and I'll make sure my sound's on. Because I think it's easier, because I think you're on a Mac, right?
on a Mac, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the interface that well on that.
All right, I'm sending it to everybody right now.
Okay, and I'm going to take this. I'm going to come over here. And let me get this up and running. All right, and then let me do this, this. Okay, and do share sound. And here we go.
I remember the exact day you picked up that ball. You never put it down.
He goes up and he's going in.
Ever since you were a boy, I always believed in you.
He scores!
After your mother left, I knew it would be hard on both of us, but I don't regret one day. I screwed up in my life, and I was given a second chance with you. Since day one, you never stopped playing. You never stopped dreaming.
Less than 5 from way outside. Got it! There you go. No, go.
I didn't have much to give you, but I gave you what I could.
You got to see me.
Tried my best to give you what I never had. I fought for you when you couldn't fight for yourself. I saw the gold in you before you could see it. I always knew you were destined for greatness.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
But no matter how much you love this game,
Boom, 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 go!
they won't always love you back.
What you gonna do?
You know, I messed up a lot.
Oh, right here. Yeah, what you gonna? That's what you gonna do? Boy, you soft.
I know I might have pushed you hard at times,
Come on, you tired? You tired?
but it was only because I knew it was in you.
Order. That's all you got? Come on. Get him out. He can't handle it. He can't handle the pressure. He don't want it.
We got so wrapped up into all of this that I forgot what mattered most. I messed up when I became your coach. When I really should have been your father.
Andre. Boy, you done lost your damn mind. Andre, don't walk off me when I'm talking to you. Andre. Don't walk away when I'm talking to you.
What? What you gotta say? You see what's going on with my foot? Leave me alone! Leave me alone!
I see now, and I'm sorry, son. I never meant to break us. The value is so much more than just this game. You're not defined by the trophies or the fame. To watch you become the young man that you are today has been such a privilege. Win or lose, you will always be my son.
right. So, yeah, that was Behind Greatness. That was a short film my company created. It was actually a passion project. We didn't get paid for that. It was just something we did because I won't go into the details of the story, but my dad had passed away, and it was kind of something that came out of that, just an expression of what I was going through, and just kind of homage to my dad. So but yeah, so but like I said, if you guys want to check out any of my other work on that link on zionfilms.co, you can look at all the other work that we do. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit just about my journey of filmmaking, and pretty much it all started at Vista High School. So it started off in the classroom setting where, like, in my English class, we like, I don't know if they're still doing it as much, but like we used to do like these big poster board presentations of like a book we were reading. So we were like reading Macbeth and different books like that. And instead of like doing like a poster board presentation, like I asked the teacher, I was like, hey, can we actually make a film for this, like a little short film? And so me and my friend like read the story, and then we made this like comedic short film, and just kind of like started there. And then I don't know if Vista High still has it right now, but back then we had KVHS, which was like the news program for Vista High, and I was in there, and I started learning how to film. I started learning editing. And so, yeah, I just grew this like passion for it. And that's kind of just where the trajectory started for just my love and passion for filmmaking. And then from there, I started doing like weddings and birthday parties and bar mitzvahs, and I started just shooting them and capturing them. And I was getting paid like a little bit of money to do that. And then I think at the end of my high school, when I was a senior, I don't know if it's still around, but back then, if you guys remember Montel Williams' show, they were doing like this little snippet, like story of some kid in Oceanside, and somehow they got a hold of my number, and they wanted me to go shoot it. It was going to be on live TV. And I was like super stoked to be able to do that when I was a senior in high school. So that was fun. And then, yeah, from there, I left high school. I went to Palomar, got my AA, was learning film there. And I actually went to Long Beach State for a semester. And I actually didn't finish at Long Beach State and just went full time into filmmaking. And a lot of what I've learned through the process has been self-taught. I mean, from the classes and whatnot, but a lot of it's just like reading books, just kind of learning as I went along. And so in the beginning of my career, I was doing a lot of motion graphics. So it was like 2D animation and things like that. And we were doing a lot of stuff for action sports. So companies like Quicksilver, Red Bull, Fuel TV back then, Shaun White, like we were doing documentaries for Shaun White. So you kind of think of like all the action sports brand, and I was working with a lot of those, telling their stories. And at that time, I was probably like 19, 20 years old. So that was like back then, that was kind of my dream. If I could like work on surf movies and action sports stuff, like that was like the pinnacle. So I was just like loving it. And then I started to transition more into editorial. So instead of actually doing the animation, I was actually taking footage from all these different shoots and like shows and TV shows. And I was actually piecing all the footage together with like little short promos that were like 30 to 60 seconds, but also like long form TV shows that were like 22 to 44 minutes. So that was like a really good learning experience for me. And then at that time I went up to LA, and I was working up at Sony Pictures Studios in Culver City, and I was editing trailers and promos for them. And so that was really fun, just to be on the studio lot at Sony Pictures and just walking around and seeing all the really cool stuff happening there. So and then I had to make but my dream was always to be directing and shooting. And so I kind of had to make a conscious choice because what happens is when you do these roles, you can kind of get pigeonholed into the role you're doing. Even if you want to do something else, you kind of have to showcase to the people that you want to work for that you can actually do that role. So I started directing and shooting my own passion projects. And actually, Liz brought me on back in the day, Ms. Swenson, to do stuff for every 15 minutes. We did 2 short films for them. And one of those short films actually got me one of my first commercial jobs directing. I don't know if I told you that, Liz. But they saw that and saw that I could storytell and make films. And that actually got me one of my first it wasn't a big commercial job, but it was like one of my first directing commercial jobs. So you kind of just take advantage of those little moments that come. And that was a really special film to be a part of and tell. And we had a really blast shooting all that. And yeah, so I kind of made a conscious decision to move into directing and shooting. And that's pretty much what I'm doing now, is I'm directing and shooting my own commercials and films. But I am really thankful for all my post-production experience, especially as an editor, because it really taught me how to be a better storyteller. And now when I'm directing something, I actually have in my mind how the edit most likely is going to look, because I had all this editorial experience. So now when I'm going into a shoot, I'm like, okay, how's this close-up going to cut with this wide shot to this other shot? So I'm kind of thinking about that as I'm shooting. So all the editorial experience really has helped grow me as a director. So the other thing I was going to mention, I forgot to mention, I outside of having my own production company, I'm actually in the process of writing my own feature film script. And so we're actually in development of that, and hoping once the script's done, we're going to start trying to find funding and all that, and move forward with the feature film. So that's kind of my heart, and that's where I want to actually move more towards. So, but yeah, so I wanted to talk about why I wanted to make a career out of this, why that was important for me. And I think one, since I was a kid, like I always loved movies. I just loved watching movies. So it just, yeah, movies were just really special and important to me. And as I was transitioning into this career in high school, my dad, he definitely supported me in whatever I wanted, but he came from a different era. He was actually born in 1933. So for him, me going into the film industry, he didn't understand and comprehend how I could actually do that, because the arts back then, it's becoming more normal now, but the arts back then weren't actually like, it was hard for people to understand how you can actually make a career and living out of that. And I think more and more, especially with the younger generation and you guys coming up, it's definitely in the arts, you can definitely make a living out of something that you love to do. So I just want to kind of encourage you guys with that. And I think the other thing I really loved about film was the ability to mix all different types of mediums and formats into one, pretty much into one more format. So you're taking visuals, you're taking film, you're taking sound, you're taking art direction, wardrobe styling, colors, music. You're able to take all these different things and intertwine them into this one medium. And so that was one of the really things I loved about it. And then I think most importantly, though, for me, the power of storytelling is really important, and how this gift I've been given in filmmaking, how I'm actually able to use that to help other people, whether it's just serving my clients with it, or actually telling stories that really impact people's lives and bring a positive message to their own life. And so I'm a big advocate of storytelling and really utilizing that to really help other people. So and I don't know, for me, it's like I've seen certain films that like after I watched them, they just like had a huge impact and indent in my life. So so there's a lot of power behind film. So I just wanted to take a minute if some of the students just want to call out, maybe just like in a few words, why are you interested in film and what intrigues you about it? We'll just take like a minute or two, but maybe just a few people just go around and maybe say why you're interested in film or video, or what intrigues you about it in a few words.
And you can come off mic or just throw it in the chat, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Anybody?
I know it's so hard. Come on, guys.
Come on. Why do you want to do film, or what intrigues you about it?
I'm gonna go real quick. I love film mostly because, and I kind of want to get into this business too, because you can portray so much emotion into one single image or one single movie. You can portray maybe your entire life in this in a movie. Maybe you can portray more pain, more sorrow, but you can also make it very happy. You can portray so much emotion and capture everything in just one single image, or maybe one photo sometimes.
That's really good. Anybody else?
Garrett, can you see the chat?
Oh, nice.
And so yeah, there we've got stuff kind of piling up in there as well. I can read them out to you if you like.
Yeah, you want to read them out, Stephen?
Yeah, George says the creativity, making it the way you want. Juanita says, I like watching movies. Natalie says, I love how people can connect to films on a personal level. Sage says, hold on here, it's scrolling back really quick. Sage says, I think it's sick to see a raw clip turn into the end product, and it's possible to take one thing and turn it into a polar opposite. Interesting. Dulce says, film production is a really creative way to show a positive mindset. Anne says, I find it really interesting due to its creativity and flexibility. A normal career is very structured, whereas film, you get to express yourself in many different ways. Gabriella says creativity, variety, and it's inspiring. Ryan says, I actually love editing. It's one of the funnest things to experiment with. So you have some students here. By the way, we do have KVHS is still alive and well, and Miss Winston is actually running it these days. Oh boy, what? I know. And we probably do. Miss Winston, do we have some KVHS people on board here with us today?
I don't. I'm Jason.
I know it's tough for everybody to comment at a specific.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't have them this period. I didn't know if they were coming in or not.
Well, there's more chats in here. So feel free to.
May I?
Oh, yep.
Go ahead.
I've always found movies and film, especially animated ones, very interesting because with animation, it's bringing something that used to be just like a still life, like to life. I like always want to go into animation. Like I actually do a couple animations. They're kind of bad, but yeah, I've always wanted to go into that field.
That's cool. And right now, just like, you know, animation, especially with COVID going on this year, animation has blown up because production has been happening a bit less. So animation has kind of skyrocketed. So it's definitely a great field to be able to go into. Well, I'm going to keep moving forward. So kind of to go off that, I was just going to say this, it's an amazing time to do film and video for a living and as a career. The landscape of film and video has really kind of been shifting, especially this last year, as you guys can see. YouTube, social media, iPhones, GoPros. It's kind of like what used to cost a lot of money. It's getting more and more affordable to make high-end level stories and films or animations. Just the technology and whatnot is just becoming a lot more affordable and easier to get access to. So, so in that regards, I feel like the canvas for like where film and video is going and animation, it's kind of like sky's the limit in some ways. I think the canvas is just kind of it's all being kind of shifted right now. And so it's a great time to be able to get into it. And I think there's just so much content. Like, it's almost overwhelming how much content there is, but there's just so much content that needs to be told, whether it's through film, whether it's through commercials. There's just a high demand for it. So there is a lot of work to be had in this field. So Yeah, I just want to go quickly into some of the different roles, because it's not just a director, it's not a cinematographer, it's just, I'm going to kind of go into some of the different roles in the film industry. So you have the director who's in kind of charge of overseeing the full creative vision and bringing that to life. You have a director of photography, cinematographer, who's in charge of the camera, who's in charge of the lighting, and really kind of taking the director's vision and bringing that to the screen. And that looks so many different shapes, whether it's action sports or film or whatnot. It's the cinematographer. It's a really fun job because you can kind of take light, you're molding light, you're finding the composition, the aesthetic you're looking for. You have producers who are in charge of overseeing the project, more of the kind of logistical of like, how do we get from A to Z to make this project happen? You have production designers, art directors in charge of like the props, the sets, like bringing in furniture and colors and all these different things. And that's just like, if you think of somebody like Wes Anderson, it's like the production design on those shoots is they have somebody geared just towards overseeing all of those sets and props. You have wardrobe styling, so somebody who's in charge of the clothing. You have hair and makeup. You have gaffers. Gaffers are in charge of the lighting, so they work with the director of photography, and the gaffers in charge of actually like placing the lights and what lights to use and how to use them. You have key grips. Key grips are the people who actually like are doing a lot of the rigging. If the light needs to go up on like a 10-foot roof, they have to get up there and figure out how to rig a light there, or put up a big silk, or push a dolly, all these different things. You have editors. You have editors who are taking all the footage and piecing it all together. And then you have visual effects, and that's there's all these little different components with animators, there's with 3D. There's a lot that goes into visual effects, as you guys know. And then you have music composers. You have the people actually creating the scores for these films and these commercials and these sound and these animated films. So yeah, there's a lot more, but that kind of just gives you a gist of like, there's all these different roles in the film industry. And I think as we go into it, I think film in some ways can look really glamorous. It can make it feel like really, really glamorous, but film is a lot of hard work, and you have to hustle. I don't want to like sugarcoat that everything's like picture perfect. Like a lot of days you're shooting like 12 to 14 hour days you're on set shooting. And sometimes it can be inconsistent with work. So instead of having like a full-time job, unless you have a full-time job doing it, like for me, it's like I'm a freelancer. So it's like work will be like really, I'll have like a lot, like you kind of, what I typically do is I work in sprints. So I'll like work a lot, and then all of a sudden kind of work slows down. So it kind of goes in sprints here and there. So those are some of the kind of things you have to think as you go into it. But the benefits is, if you love film, it's like you're doing something that you love to do for a living. Overall, it pays well to be in the film industry. Another benefit is you get to go to different environments. If you're like shooting and on production, you're going to different environments and locations. So it's kind of, doing film has actually brought me like to different places around the world globally and also nationally that I would have never gone to if I wasn't doing these productions. And then you get to meet different people all the time, whether it's in post-production or production. You're meeting all these different people on every different job. You get to understand people, how they work, how they function. So I really enjoy that. It's like being able to just kind of meet new people all the time. And then I think most importantly, you just get to express yourself creatively, and the story that's in you, all just the ideas you have, the aesthetic, the looks that you like to go for, you get to express that, which is really special. So, and I kind of wanted to end it, as you guys are in high school, and as you guys are thinking about this as a career, like don't let your personality pigeonhole you. Like when I was at Vista High, I was a quiet, insecure kid. I never thought I would have been a director and having my own production company. And you definitely have to like push past the things that you're scared of. And I had to come out of my shell more. So now it's like I'm on set directing sometimes like 50 to 60 people crew. And I've had to learn how to get out of my shell, but I just like love what I do. So I just want to say, like, whatever your personality type is, like, don't let it pigeonhole you to think, oh, I could never do that. I could never do that. So yeah, if you have a dream for something and you're really passionate about it, go for it. And yeah, I just kind of want to go back to the beginning of just talking about the passion of film, the passion of story, why it's so important. I think in our culture today, with just everything going on, I just think story is more prevalent and important than ever. And to be able to, each one of you guys has a story to tell, and whatever the capacity that looks like, whatever role that looks like, you just get to express yourself, your story through this medium. And I think it's really powerful. So yeah, so then the power of story is definitely one of the big reasons why I do it. And if you have an interest in doing film, it's I just encourage you guys to your voice matters and your story matters. So yeah, that's my spiel. So do you guys have any questions for me?
I think we had a couple in the chat here.
Okay.
Sage said, is it easy to look and apply for filming opportunities? And what are some good things to put on your resume to get you into film that big film businesses look at?
Yeah. So the question is, like, how do you kind of get connected to some of these bigger film production companies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the beginning, a lot of times, like, a lot of people who kind of start learning, they, especially if it's like more on set, they become production assistants. It's called a PA. And so they're kind of on set just picking up lunch, picking up a C-stand. They're kind of just doing whatever needs to happen on set. And what you want to do is, if you just want to get on set and get experience, you actually reach out to some of these production companies or producers. You just go, like, for me, it's like, if it was me and I was like interested to get on set and learn, I would just reach out to like companies that are doing films or commercials and just say, hey, if you ever need help, I'd be willing to be a production assistant, intern for you, whatever it is, just to learn. And yeah, so that's one way of doing it. But I think what most people are looking for is just experience. And so one way to get experience is just making your own films, making your own animations, it's kind of like just doing your own passion projects, because that's honestly how I got a lot of my work. Just like I said, with every 15 minutes, that pretty much in a sense was a passion project for all of us. And that actually got me work from creating that. So that's another way, is just create passion projects, and that can actually help bring work to you guys.
Hannah asks, what has been your favorite film project that you had an opportunity to be a part of?
I think, I would say probably Behind Greatness, because it was like a low budget, scrappy, like just kind of run and gun shoot. But I think because of the story, that was really impactful to me. And then also kind of putting myself out there to do something that I hadn't really fully done before. So yeah, I would say that was one of the most powerful. And then also there's a spot on my site, if you guys look at it, it's called Kawasaki Terex. And we shot out in the middle of the desert in Moab, Utah. And that was just like a really fun shoot. We were like shooting with like drones, and Russian Arm is like a big car that has like a big crane on top. And we're just shooting like hot, like this thing going like 80 to 90 miles per hour, like going up these cliffs and all this stuff. So that was just like a fun shoot. So yeah, so those are some of my favorite shoots I've been a part of.
And then Jacqueline asks, what are some important skills that you need for the film career?
I would say the most important is a good attitude and hard work. I would say that will get you a long way. If you just have a good attitude and you're a hard worker, you'll get hired a lot, because you have people who come on set and have entitlement or whatnot. Those people, I don't hire them again. So I would say that's the first most important thing. And then I think it just depends on what type of if you kind of don't know what position you're wanting to do, I think it's just good really when you're on set, or if you're just, I think it's good to really learn and observe and just try to understand any chance you get to be a part of a set, or just kind of like looking at behind the scenes stuff. Because I think sometimes if you just kind of show up and you don't know what to do, it's not a bad thing. I think just maybe learning, like reading books, like seeing behind the scenes, like trying to understand some of the process. So if you do get the opportunity to go on a set or do your own set, you're kind of starting to already learn some of the lingo. But I think to start out, if you're kind of just in the beginning, I think just hustle, work hard, have a good attitude, and just really learn and observe what other people are doing. And in the beginning, that will get you a long way until you kind of start solidifying what type of role you're liking.
And we have an interesting question, which is, what's the typical budget for like a film production that you're doing?
Yeah, it kind of varies. I mean, so sometimes it's like, I mean, now, like when I first got started, when I was in high school or college, it was like $500 is like the whole budget. Where now it's like we're typically on a commercial shoot, it's between 50,000 to typically 750,000. And that's like, and sometimes those like really big $500,000 to $750,000 productions. And that's not going to me, that's going to like the whole shoot. That's like a 3-day shoot. And so there's just a lot that goes, like the money, it becomes really expensive because all the little pieces start adding up really quickly. So yeah, that's about the typical average prices of commercials I'm working on.
Okay. So George asks, what are some classes you recommend for film production and editing? Well, get involved with KVHS is one of them. It's right there. So.
KVHS.
I think we have photography on campus, which would be a good one. Digital journalism. We don't have really a video class per se, but digital journalism would be, I think, your ticket to getting some hands-on.
Yeah, I think utilizing the resources of Vista High. And then if you kind of want to dive kind of deeper into some of the video and camera stuff, I feel like, I mean, I listen to Masterclass a lot, but they don't really go into the technical aspects. But I feel like they have like a lot of what are they called? The e-courses now. And then they have a lot of just like YouTube videos. So I would say if you're looking just to kind of get basic skills, I feel like a lot of those e-courses that they have now are providing that type of stuff, like working like with DSLR cameras and whatnot. That's more kind of like just a bare bones team. So I would say that'd be a good step to move into.
Oh, Miss Marks also made a good point. We do have a video club. That's, if you talk to Miss Olden on campus, they're always looking to do shoots and things like that, looking for projects to do. So they're also another good one to do as well. Anne asks, do you need a college degree to get in the industry? And what type of degree do people often get in the film industry?
You definitely don't need a college degree. I didn't have a college degree. So I think college in the film industry, it's a hard question because I think it depends on what type of learner you are too. I think some people really like in-person practical learning. So you don't need a college degree, but what I would recommend if you are going to go to college for film is to go to a college where the teachers there have experience in the film industry and yeah, just have more of a high level experience of the film industry and whatnot. So because honestly, I've never been a part of a project that they've asked me for my college, like they just never ask. They base it off your work. They base off what you've done. So you definitely don't need a college degree, but there are a lot of great colleges out there that you can really learn and kind of learn the beginnings of how to get better. And I've heard from people who have gone to college that the students that you actually are meeting, they're actually a lot of the people that you end up working with in the future. So yeah.
Evelyn asks, what's the best way to get internships and who do we reach out to?
Yeah, well, you could reach out to me. You could go to my website, you could reach out to me. And I think same thing, just Google people in San Diego that are doing film and production and email them and just say, hey, I'm looking to learn, I'm looking to grow, and just say, if you ever need an intern on a shoot or just help with anything, let me know. So I think just putting yourself out there and kind of doing a Google search of like production companies, Google searching directors, Google searching cinematographers. So yeah, that's definitely a good way to go about doing it.
Yeah, and you can look on LinkedIn as well. There's a lot of people. You can find some local people that way too.
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions? Since we're running over time, and that's okay. I'm cool with that. Any more questions, guys? Going once. Going twice. Well, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah.
And remember, Vista High School is always open for any shoot you need. Just give us a little fair warning there, and I'll talk to our chief maintenance guy that you're coming in. So
thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh, thanks for being back. We really appreciate it. I mean, I always like students to talk to people who went originally to Vista High as well, because I'm just saying, you know, you could be doing what he's doing today, right? So, and he started exactly where you are right now. Well, Garrett, all the best luck to you. I hope to see one of your major feature films one of these days.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we were joking. We were chatting before this. We're going like, if we get enough Vista alum together, we can make our own production.
Yeah, I would love to chat offline at some time. I would just be interested to hear like what other alumni are doing film production that you know about.
Yeah, I think that you had mentioned some of the people I already had over before. But there's one new one you had that we haven't contacted.
Yeah,
yet.
did you get a hold of Ash?
Yeah, no one wrote me back right yet, so it's okay. I figure everybody's busy anyway, but it takes time. It takes time to gather everyone together.
Yeah,
but I made it my little hobby here to try to see if I can sort of like get an alumni association going.
Yeah,
bring people back to campus.
I was actually going to tell you my I don't know if you guys reach out to her, but my sister was the lead fashion designer for Reef, the clothing brand.
Yeah.
And so if you guys are interested in talking to anybody in the fashion world,
I have nobody who I've been able to contact yet, so that would be absolutely ideal.
Yeah, she was like the valedictorian at Vista High back in 2000. But yeah, she went to FIT, the big fashion school in New York, and then she did it for a living. So yeah, she'd be a great person to chat with regarding fashion.
Yeah, tell her you survived today and that she can do the same thing.
Okay.
So
I
no,
was just
'cause
going to say
we-
that's definitely a field we have not had presenters for, and a lot of students are interested in that field, so that'd be perfect.
Yeah, there's a lot that are out there that I have a hard time getting people to come talk about, and I think fashion is probably one of them that's been the hardest one to get people to come to talk.
Yeah. No, I'm sure she would love to do it.
Great. Just throw her my email address. I'm, totally available anytime.
Okay, cool.
All right. So well, thanks for being with us. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we can have you back to campus when things are a little bit less crazy.
Yeah. Thank
All
you
right.
guys. Good to see you, Liz.
Good to see you. Please give my love to your mom and to your sis, okay? Brianna
Will
was
do.
in my program, so.
Definitely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, Garrett. Appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
guys.
much.
Thanks
All right.
all the instructors. Thanks for students for
Garrett.
coming in and spending time with us. Yes,
Yep.
go ahead.
Sorry, I do have a question for you. When you use music, is it all original music?
No, most of the time it's all licensed.
Okay,
So,
because that's a big expense, is it not?
yeah, I mean, it can, depending on the brand. So, so I use MusicBed a lot, and I actually have a subscription with them. They're some of the best music. So for like small projects, they're great because they're really affordable, they're really cheap. But when you're working with like a brand over like 500 or 1,000 people, that's when it starts getting pricey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, it's like you kind of have to debate paying for a license track or just go with like a composer you can do like a flat fee with, and then you own the rights to the music.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just curious because just listening to the music and your piece was just very moving.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That was through MusicBed.
Music what?
Musicbed.com.
Bed? Okay.
Bed. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Okay, guys.
Okay.
We'll see you.
See you later.
All right.
I'll be talking to everybody soon.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.